Hey everybody, welcome back to another Trekyards Top 10. Hope you all are doing well. We are having a good day here today, getting lots done. So, Samuel, what are we doing today?
Top 10 space stations.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm.
I assume it's only on screen.
Yes, canon space stations, but they can be any race, any whatever, just space stations.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's start with mine, of course, because
Number
I'm the
5.
captain,
Yes, you are.
obviously.
For now.
Anyway, number five would be McKinley Station.
Yes.
Very cool, very dynamic. I love the way that it's designed. I think it's something that we haven't seen before, and that's very very cool, and it's very adaptable as well to different uh, configurations, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. It's sort of crab-like almost,
Yeah,
but it's
but it can fold around like any ship, pretty much, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. I've loved seeing like the Sovereign in it, and the Nebula and stuff. It's nice.
Yeah. So number four will have to be Regular One, because it's the first time we really saw a space station on screen, I guess.
Hmm. In the
So
movies.
yes, and it's a scientific research facility, so it's small, but it's interesting to see. It's basically the office complex from the motion picture just flipped upside down and made bigger, I think.
No,
Bigger
they
or
made
smaller?
smaller, and they take out loads of other
Yeah.
buildingy bits. Yeah.
But you got the little domes on there where there's like a
Hmm.
little telescope and stuff you don't
Mm.
really know about unless you look at the blueprints. So it's an amazing little station, and
Hmm.
it's kind of neat to see the different aspects behind the star bases. You have some for
Hmm.
specific purposes.
Hmm.
So number three has got to be K7 from TOS, Trials and Tribulations
So not
and
number
Trouble.
one. You're such a TOS fanboy. Mm.
Yeah, but really, it shows its age, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the remastered was nice
You
to
mean
see.
shows its futureness?
Sure, whatever. It looks perky. You know what I mean?
Yep.
'Cause it's cold in space.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, it's a cool design. Very 1960s though. It's definitely, I don't know. The remastered looked great. So, but that's number three.
Okay, number two.
Number two would be Jupiter Station. Very neat design. I love
Mm.
how they have the stacked pancake saucer things, which basically reuse of hulls of starships. But the way they're all joined together and configured, I mean, Rick did an awesome job
Hmm.
designing that, and it's one I would have liked to see more of, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Or just around other planets and just to be visited as just a station design because it's a great design.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And number one for me would have to be Earth Space Dock. Cool. It's huge. It's stores ships in there. You get to see a lot of it in Star Trek 3
Hmm.
as far as the docking goes. You got the Excelsior, the original
Mm.
Macquarie Enterprise in
Hmm.
the background. You can see the rear engine of that. So it's awesome to see the size of that thing.
Mm.
Also in Star Trek Online, you get to
Hmm.
visit it, you get to explore it, and then they redesigned the interior for that for Star Trek Online quite a while ago, actually. But there's been two different interiors, so it's fun to run around
Yeah,
there.
because originally it wasn't that original design, and they actually made it the one we all love, where the interior actually looks and feels like it should. Now that's great. Absolutely.
I just wish you could explore more of it because I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that because it's so huge. But whatever,
Or it'd be cool if you could actually like have a docking bit where you could enter your ship via a walkway and actually see all inside. That'd be great. That'd
that
be
would be
perfect.
cool. Yes. So that's why it would have to be my number one, and it's got so much potential. You see it in the TNG. I mean, they had to widen the doors, I guess, for the Galaxy. But I mean, that could just be bigger doors on the other side. We don't even know. Anything can happen, right? So it's cool to see it. And it's just huge, 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 huge. It's my definition of a space station.
Yeah, absolutely. Great choice. So my number five is K7. It's a classic. This is the TOS station. It looks great. Very 60s, yet very sleek. And its sleekness, it's brilliant. It would have been fantastic to have seen more though. Can you imagine that be a regular port of call for the Enterprise?
Mm.
And then you can actually put some money into the actual interiors, think it
Yeah.
through, just have a bit of regular, and you close the Klingon border. I mean, that would be a great story device. And come on, see the interior. You want to see the interior. Because that's
Yeah.
some cool stuff. So definitely a cool station. Number five. Yep. So my number four. Surprised you didn't pick it. Is Deep Space Nine. And yes, I have a cool, very very nice Eagle Moss one. Very heavy. Yeah. First in DS9 and also in TNG and Voyager with small cameos, but mostly in DS9.
Go
Go
figure,
figure.
right?
Yeah, go figure. This hero station has so much cool detail to it. Love the interiors. and then exterior. But I've got to say, I've never been a fan of the Cardassian aesthetic, and that's why it's only number 4 on my list. But I've got to say, I love how capable the station is. All those phasers and photon torpedo turrets. Just 3 torpedoes can take out a whole Katinga. Wow. Anyway, great station. Well done, Rick.
That's why it's not on my list, because I don't like the Cardassian aesthetic.
But it's still an iconic, cool... I don't know, it still works. Anyway, number 3 for me is regular 1. Small but interesting. Lots of detail. While it is a reuse of the orbital office complex, I like its simplicity and just the whole look. I think the station does do better with the large part at the top, as it reflects Starbase 1 or Earth Space Dock. But yeah, great design, and it's always fun when we watch Wrath of Khan to see it. It just works, you know?
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is also Jupiter Station.
Interesting.
Awesome design, very, very cool. Interesting take on a Trek space station design, using the old Starship, as you said, saucer sections is genius. You know, they're retired, can't go to warp. Let's reuse them. That's genius. And the solar panels, like not solar panels, very cool. Great design, Rick. God, some of these are Rick designs. Yeah, iconic in such a small way. But when a station appears once and it makes an impression, that's a good sign. So yeah. Jupiter Station. And number 1 for me is the JJ Enterprise Space Dock. No, I'm kidding. It is also Earth Space Dock, Prime Universe, Starbase 1. It's such a simple and sleek design. It looks amazing from the exterior to the interior parking garage. It's massive, and yes, as you said, there's problems with continuity, although I love your other doors idea. It's great. Silly people, whatever. Given its size, it must be very, very capable. Imagine how many phasers and torpedo tubes this thing would have. Come on, it would have been fun to see it fight off a fleet of Klingon warships. Come on. That'd be great.
I know. Well, ironically, we're going to be doing an episode on it eventually, and I need to research it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Do I have to do animations at fighting? Oh, God. It's fantastic. I would love a model of it. It's really nice. I honestly don't think there's anything bad about it. And like I say, seeing Star Trek Online, it's always nice to be able to warp into it and like, hey, here's our Starbase 1.
Oh, it's home. Yay.
So that is my top 5. Some similarities, again, for us.
All right, well, it's time for honorable mention, of course, and mine would be Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
Deep Space Nine is like my favorite series, I think. So you got to give some love to Deep Space Nine, but I really don't enjoy the Cardassian aesthetic. Although all that being said, it's got some very dynamic, interesting interiors and stuff because it is not Federation, so we get to see something different, which is nice. But I got to say, the redesign after it gets destroyed and the redesign by Doug Drexler is atrocious.
I would also agree. It is terrible.
The original DS9 is way better. So that's my honorable mention because it is the home for, the characters of my favorite show in Star Trek.
Okay.
So,
well, my honorable mention, this was a hard one because hard to think of a lot of these stations, is the TOS remastered space station we get to see. It's a rather cool little design. Definitely fits into the world. It would have been great to have seen it more. Not a lot to say because it wasn't really seen much, but a cool little station.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I like your list. I like it.
Good. Should like my list.
It's always nice to have some similarities. So number 1, number 2, and regular 1 is 4th on yours, but 3rd on mine. So I value it a bit more above yours, I guess. I don't know. Didn't think of McKinley though.
Well, I hesitated putting it in, but it is McKinley Station, is what it's called. It's I didn't really consider it a space station for a long time. I just remember it was dry dock.
Well, exactly. I mean, do you include the dry dock? It's technically a space station. It's a station that's in space. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like it doesn't have that vibe. So yeah, that was because I mean that's certainly more iconic than maybe even K7 dry dock. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I wrestled with putting it as my honorable mention, but I thought I'd include it as number 5. So
cool. But it's nice to have some similarities again. And yeah, there's some great space stations in Star Trek. I think we can all agree. And that is it for another Trekyards top 10 on space stations. I've only got one model this time, so hopefully next time we do a top 10 other Federation space. I don't know. What are the other ones? Sometime I'll have all the models. Eventually, I don't know.
The model master over there.
There we go. So if you have a top 10 you want to see us do, put in the comments below. If you have your top 10 space stations, let us know. If you have a space station design you want us to look at, also let us know because we love fan designs. So yeah, tune in next week for another Trekyards top 10. And until then, this is Commander Cockings.
And Captain Foley.
Bye guys.
See you next time.